In the name of Allah, the entirely of merciful and especially of merciful, today, inshallah, we're gonna discuss a new lesson from Mega Goal 6 on second semester with me. I'm teacher Sami. Let's begin. Okay, at first, we have an introduction for this lesson. Number one, the purpose of this tip is to give a comprehensive review from the fourth to the last unit in your book. Number two, we will improve your memory about the previous grammar and vocabulary, reading and writing. And the last point for our introduction today is make sure that to open your pupil's book on the required pages and follow the instructions carefully in order to facilitate understanding and answer. Okay, our objectives today have 2 points. The first one, we will make review on the quoted speech and reported speech, and we shall apply it on examples and so on. And the last second point, a revision for relative pronouns. Okay, are you ready for our lesson? Okay, let's begin. At first, I want to ask you a question. What do you know about quoted speech, or what is quoted speech? We can say that quoted speech is repeat the exact word that someone said, and a comma follows a verb in the main clause, and a quoted speech is placed inside quotation marks. Here is an example about it. He said, Mark cheated on the test. So if you notice that we put that exact repeated words, Mark cheated on the test, between quotation marks. Okay, that's what we know about the quoted speech. Now we will transfer to the reported speech. What do you know about reported speech? We can say that reported speech is as a noun clause, and they're using a noun clause to paraphrase what someone said. And in reported speech, it's not necessary to repeat the exact word. And also, we can't use the quotation mark. And this is an example about it. He said that Mark had cheated on the test. So if you notice that here, there is no quotation marks, and we didn't repeat the exact word that he said on that sentence. Okay, after we make analyzing and differentiation between the quoted speech and reported speech, let me transfer for the important notice about that. However, we have some exceptions for the rule to the sequence of the tense in a quoted speech, in reported speech. Number one, if the reporting verb in the present tense or present perfect or future, the noun clause verb doesn't change tense, which means that we don't need it to change that tense. Number two, if the noun clause states a fact or general truth, the present tense can but doesn't have to be relined. Be sure about that one. Number three, when the action that the reported speech refers to has not happened yet, what we shall do, either will or would, can be used. And number four, the models should, might, should have, could have, and must have don't change form in a reported speech. And the last point about that exceptions of the rule for the sequence of the tense is an imperative is changed to infinitive and till us used as the reporting verb. Okay, by the ending of this introduction about the difference between quoted speech and reported speech, I hope it's make a sense to you. Now we will apply that one inside this question. Let me transfer for that question. Look at the title. Here is a language review. The title for this question is change the quoted speech. What they want from us to do, change it to reported speech. In some cases, more than one answer is possible. Okay, let me check the first one, and we applying what the writer said in the question through that example. Keep away from people who try to belittle your ambitions. Small people always do that. but the really great make you feel that you too can become great. Who is said for that quoted speech? Mark Twain. Okay, now I know who is the speaker or who is the write this example. Let we transfer or make it from quoted speech to reported speech. What shall I do? Mark Twain advised people to keep away from people who try to belittle their ambitions. So he advised people, which means that we report the speech and we make it on a noun clause. He said that, this is the second part. He said that small people always did that, comma, but the really great made you feel that you too could become great. If you notice that the second part here, we didn't repeat the exact word that Mark said, but we tried to using a noun clause and we paraphrasing that sentence and to make a reporting speech. Okay, now we want to apply that grammar in these two sequences or in these two sentences. Look at the first one. We have to be always ready and fit. I train my own children to walk barefoot, to race 2 hours before dawn, to eat but little, to ride horses bareback. Sometimes we have not a moment to saddle a horse, leap to his back and go. Who is said for that one? King Abdul Aziz, rahimahullah. Okay, so King Abdul Aziz said that quoted speech. Now we want to transfer it from quoted to reported speech. How are we applying that one? Okay, we should bring the owner for this sentence or the writer for this sentence at the first. Okay, which means that we didn't apply the exact word that he gave it inside that quoted speech. So King Abdul Aziz said, which means that we make reported, we transfer his speech, that they had to always be ready and fit. And also he said again that, which means this is in a noun clause. Be careful. He trained his own children to walk barefoot, to rise 2 hours before dawn, to eat but a little, and ride horse, bear walk. He said also, number 3, because we have 3 sentences inside his quoted speech, added that sometimes they didn't have a moment to saddle a horse, leap to his back and go. Is it making sense to you? Okay, let's we transfer for the second one. I will be father to the young, brother to the elderly. I am but one of you. Whatever troubles you troubles me. Whatever pleases you pleases me. Who said for that one? King Fahd bin Abdul Aziz rahimahullah. Okay, now we want to apply King Fahd Abdul Aziz rahimahullah quoted speech to reported speech. Try by your own. Try to apply the grammar. And don't forget the important notice about the sequence of tense inside the sentence. Look at the answer for the quoted speech. King Fahd bin Abdul Aziz promised or said, you have either 2 sources, that he would be father to the young, brother to the elderly. He said that he was but one of them. Whatever, okay, trouble them, trouble him. And whatever pleased them, pleased him. Done? Okay. We will complete on the next slide. So this is the third point, or the third question. A man who views the world from the same at 50 as he didn't at the 20 has wasted 30 years of his life. Who said that quoted speech? Muhammad Ali. Okay? How we apply that and how we report Muhammad Ali's speech. We can say, or we should bring the speaker at the beginning, or the writer at the beginning. Muhammad Ali said that. When we apply with said that, which means that we transfer the sentence to the report, we apply the noun clause. We didn't repeat the exact word for him. A man who views the same at 50 as he did at 20 has wasted 30 years of life. Okay, number 4. I will praise any man that will praise me. William Shakespeare. So who is the owner for that sentence or quoted speech? William Shakespeare said that. How can I apply it with a reported speech? I should bring William at the first, then I would said that, which means report his speech. Shakespeare said that he would praise any man that would praise him. I hopefully that it's clear to you and you can recognize how to apply the reported speech through these questions. Still, we have 2 points more. He who obeys the Almighty has no difficulty in exacting obedience to himself. Who said that one? King Abdul Aziz rahimahullah. How we can apply that one? How can I report King Abdul Aziz's speech? I should bring the owner for that sentence or the speaker for that sentence at the first and when you want to transfer it to a noun clause. King Abdul Aziz said that he who obeyed the Almighty had not difficulty in exacting obedience to himself. Okay? The last point is ever Muslims should work on some endowment that could benefit him in the life after death. Likewise, I prefer for my children to work on developing the wealth that they would normally inherit after my death while I am still alive, rather than keep it and continue working to increase it myself. Who said that speech? Sulaiman al-Rajhi. How can I apply that report speech with Sulaiman al-Rajhi? Word. Sulaiman al-Rajhi said that every Muslim had to work on some endowments that could benefit him in the life after death. Then I will complete the second part of his speech. Likewise, he, which means return to Sulaiman al-Rajhi, prefers for his children to work on developing the wealth that they would normally inherit after his death while he was still alive, rather than keep it and continue working to increase it himself. Okay, by the end of this question, I want to make a quick summarize about the previous things. Until now, we talked about the difference between quoted speech and reported speech. And I showed to you there is some steps or exceptions for the rules for the sequence of the tense. There is a 5 points we should apply when we want to transfer to the or paraphrase our noun, clause, or reported speech. Now we finished the first point of our lesson. Let's transfer for the second one and see what we have. Okay, can I ask you some question? What do you know about adjective clause? Or do you hearing that one before? I think so. We studied it already in Unit 5 and Unit 6. So we can say that an adjective clause is a dependent clause which describes or gives information about what the noun becomes before it or comes before it, sorry. Okay, when we know what is the adjective clause, what is the next step, miss? The next step that we should know what is the relative pronouns. Relative pronouns, we can say it is a clause that return a noun into adjective clause. And here is an example. For example, I know a person who speaks 3 languages. So who speaks 3 languages is a relative pronoun, becomes as a noun for an adjective clause. Hold this clause, we're calling it a noun for an adjective clause. We can use relative pronoun who for people, and we can also use relative pronoun which or that for things. Okay? But I wanna told you something that if we want to talk about the people in general, we can refer to them by that, or a relative pronoun that. Okay, after that, what we have, miss? We have two kinds of relative pronouns. Number one, as subject. How that become, miss? How can I apply that relative pronoun as subject? Okay, I can say to you that we can use relative pronoun or can be as a subject. So relative pronouns which followed by a verb, there are what we call a subject pronoun. And in that situation, this subject will be inherits. So we will always using it. The second kind is an object. Can we using it, miss, as an object inside relative pronouns? Yes, we can use it as an object. The relative pronouns or the relative pronouns followed by noun or pronoun, we can using it as an objective pronouns. So in this situation, relative pronouns as an object will be omitted from our sentence. Okay, now we will know, or we will talk about the kinds and what is the meaning and the definition for relative pronouns. Can we begin to apply that on a question? I hope that so it become clean to you or make a sense to you. Okay, this is our question. Complete each sentence with the relative pronouns and your own idea. Number one, as a model or an example. I am accustomed to wearing clothes that are baggy and comfortable. Okay, what is the relative pronouns in that one? That are baggy and comfortable. This is the relative pronouns which I use it inside an adjective clause. Okay, we begin our lesson, or let us begin our lesson, sorry. Number one, the most ridiculous rumor space I ever heard was, then space again. How can I apply that one? Because this is a thing. Rumor is a thing. So I can use which or that. I ever heard was what? Was that a famous football player was going to play for a local team. Okay? Number two, the vertex. What do you think the vertex is? We can apply with which or that. I think are the most important are honesty and integrity. Okay? Number three, Mecca is a city. What do you think Mecca is? Or what is the suitable pronoun with it? Which or that? 13 million Muslims visit every year. Number four, I'm someone. Someone what? Who? Because you talk about yourself. I'm someone who. This is what we using with people. Who? That always what? Locks the doors at night. Number five, I think. What do you think? What? I think Ali, I think Fatima, I think Muhammad, any name you can use it. Is the person. What is shall suitable pronouns come with the person is who. Has had the biggest impact on my country. Number six, the language which or that I would most like to acquire is Spanish. Okay, number seven, there is a space is a person I admire so much because another space. What do you think is, for example, we put Picasso is a person who I admire so much because what? Because he was a great artist. So this is a relative pronoun suitable with the people. I am accustomed to having friends. What do you think is who? Because it refers to friends that are fun and easygoing. Number nine, the object. The object is thing. what is the suitable pronouns with it? Which or that? Is my greatest treasure is a box that belongs to my grandfather. Number 10, we have a long space and is something. And another space really intimidates me. What do you think is it? Lightning is something what? Which or that is really intimidates me. Okay? By the end of this question, we apply the relative pronouns suitable with things and suitable with people. Can you have more time to apply with another question? Let's we transfer for the next slide. I think this is an easy question. You just choose what is the suitable pronouns from the things. Okay, circle the correct relative pronoun in each sentence. But before we complete our question, I want to notice you that we have whose and we have whom. From where the things come? So whose and whom is two things common, or two kinds become from who. Which whom we can use it as an object, and whose we use it as possessive to the who. Okay, number 1. My mother is the person. Who or that or whose? What do you think? Price means the most to me. So the suitable one is whose. Number 2. The shirt where or who or which I bought has a stain on the collar. What do you think is? They talk about shirt. So this is a thing. We can use which. Number 3. The day where, when or which he graduated was the best of his life. Okay, it talks about the day. So what is the suitable thing with it? Is when. The appraiser who, which or whose determine the damon's authenticity is an expert. What do you think is it? Because it is a what? A people, we can use who. Al-Zahrawi is the 10th century surgeon. Who or whose or where is considered one of the fathers of the modern medicine. So what do you think with coming with this famous character? We should using who. This is the suitable pronoun with it. Number 6. I like weekends where or who or when I can spend time with my family. So it talks about something. What do you think is it? When. When we want to talk about place, we should use when. When often go to the park, whose or where or when we relax for hours. Again, we was where. So sorry, where for the place and when for the time. Sorry for this mistake. A humanitarian is a person who or whose or when goals are noble. What do you think is it? A person. So we should use whose. Because as what I discussed before, whose and whom comes, or the second two parts or two kinds from who. Okay, by the end of this question, I hopefully that's clear to you how to choose a right pronoun or right relative pronoun with the suitable things, as what I say, who for people and which or that for things. And if we want to talk about people in general, we can use that. If we want to talk about a specific person, again, we should use who. And don't forget that's two kinds, whose and whom from who. Okay, this is the end of our lesson today. And by the end of our lesson today, I would like to thank you for the good follow-up, and I hope to see you again. Thank you.